Hey folks, it's Jared Mananen from the website TahoeTrailGuide.com. Today I'm going to talk about cross-country skiing off track, off trail, and in the backcountry during a snowstorm or blizzard. Right off the bat, I want to be clear that I didn't produce this video in an effort to encourage you to go out into a whiteout blizzard and explore new terrain and find yourself stranded or lost. This video also is not about winter survival or land navigation in whiteout conditions, nor is this an avalanche safety course primer. Essentially, I do want you to get outside during stormy conditions, but I want you to do so in a safe and somewhat controlled manner. Many people's instincts during stormy conditions is to stay inside, to wait out the storm, hunker down, and these are good instincts to have. However, experiencing firsthand a snowstorm or a blizzard, really intense winter weather, is an experience unparalleled. So my recommendation for going out in stormy conditions is to lower your expectations. Dial back how many miles or how many hours you're going to be outside, because everything's going to take longer. In a blizzard, in a big snowstorm, you're going to find that the snow is much deeper and it's going to be a lot slower traveling. But this is okay. It allows you to stop and take a look around a little bit more often than, say, if the snow was really fast and you were just grinding out miles. When the snow is falling hard and the wind is gusty, you're definitely going to experience whiteout conditions, and that can be very disorienting. So stop where you're at and wait for better visibility before continuing your adventure. Those two factors are why I say lower your expectations for a winter adventure during a blizzard or a big snowstorm. Therefore, my best recommendation for traveling in this type of weather is to choose a location in which you're already familiar. I know I'm pretty lucky because I have national forest as well as a California state park near my home, and this isn't necessarily the case for most people. But if you have a favorite trail or a favorite park, for example, go and play at those locations, because it's going to be easier for you to navigate, considering that you are already familiar with the various landmarks of those said locations. Everything will look slightly different because it's now covered in snow, for example, but you should still have a better understanding of the landmarks of those locations just for the fact that you've been there before. I tend to shoot for a distance of 5 miles or less during big snowstorms because I know it's just going to take me a long time to cover that distance. At the same time, I'm never so far away from home or my vehicle that I couldn't, as a worst case scenario, drag myself out of the forest within a reasonable amount of time. Atmospheric visibility is definitely a concern when the wind is gusting and the snow is flying everywhere and you just can't see 20 feet in front of you. That's a problem. However, just as big of a problem, maybe even more so, is the fact that overcast skies, cloudy skies, create really flat light when it comes to our ability to see snow and the different features of the snow. So in addition to watching where we're skiing on a macro scale, like in the distance, now we have to actually be conscious of what we're skiing directly over. We may, in fact, be traveling over some sort of water feature or log or stump or boulder that's just barely being covered by snow. Perhaps out of nowhere there's a huge depression that drops 4 feet, but because of the flat light we don't see it until the very last second. And then if you are near trees or in a forest, you have to concern yourself with tree wells, which are the wells that form around the base of a tree. I find that the more dangerous ones are with branches that extend very close to the ground, because you won't know there's an actual tree well unless you get right next to it or fall into it. And some of these tree wells, especially at higher elevations, can be over 6 to 8 feet deep. That's not a place you want to find yourself ever, so avoid skiing too close to trees. Wide open fields or meadows can be some of the most disorienting places to ski, particularly if you are in a whiteout condition, whereas going through the forest, again, You have to worry about running into trees, going into tree wells, but at least they provide some protection from the elements. At the same time, big gusts of wind could potentially knock a branch or a treetop out of the trees. Now you have this flying hazard that you have to concern yourself with. I realize that all of this sounds very appealing. However, if you can get past the safety issues, keep your ski session to a short distance, you can really have a great time out there during a snowstorm or blizzard. Okay, folks, it's starting to get a little bit dark and the snow is picking up again, so I'm going to take my own advice and go ahead and head home. As much as I want to be out here all day and all night, got to turn in some point. But this is why I love being out here, is just these amazing views, low expectations and short distances. Today I'll be about 3.5 miles, so not that far, but I get to experience all this amazing weather firsthand, and that's why I like being out in these snowstorms and blizzards when possible, when time permits. Anyway, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out TahoeTrailGuide.com for more information about cross-country skiing and snowshoeing. Then if you have comments or questions, feedback, post it in the comment section below. If you want to contribute to the health and longevity of Tahoe Trail Guide and this YouTube channel, I have a Patreon, PayPal, and Venmo option. Just want to say thank you to all my supporters, subscribers, followers, everyone I get to have a chance to have a conversation with. You guys are amazing. You really make my winters great. Because you see, I'm out here skiing by myself most of the time, so it's nice to make a video and then end up having a bunch of other people comment and have a fun little chat with about. So anyway, take care, folks. I gotta get going. Clearly I lied about going directly home, but I couldn't resist checking out my little practice hill just to see how it would feel, and it was pretty fun. This is also another option for when going into the backcountry or off trail and off track during a storm, is to just find some isolated aspect of the forest or mountains or meadows and work on technique. If you know you're not going to be going that far anyway, make the best of it and find some little terrain feature and work on whatever aspect of your technique that needs the most attention, or whatever aspect of your technique that could benefit from this particular snow condition.